What's up, guys? So it's another video on the Care Bears, and today, guess where we are? It's like the middle of nowhere, guys. It's like the middle of nowhere, but we're still not going to the middle of nowhere. Guys, we're going to Vimy Ridge and Dunkirk. If you don't know what's that? Well, Vimy Ridge was in Vimy Ridge was in World War One. It was like a huge site, like if you guys see Wonder Woman, like I don't know if this is going to be like in like a year or two, like Wonder Woman 2 or something, like, and it has Vimy 2, but like anywho, so in World War One, if you saw the first Wonder Woman, I guess, or yeah, Wonder Woman, the origin story. So actually, like the warsite is actually being Ridge, and like if you
Going?
yeah.
Yeah.
This can go pretty good flips. You might have practice in there, so yeah. But we're going back to soundtrack.
No, that's just a reinforcement. Yeah. We've done this masonry work.
Guys, this is cold. Guys, this is very cold.
So were the tunnels just originally dug out, or were they stone?
No, this is the stone that lays underneath all of France, pretty much.
Oh.
Yeah. So I don't know how long you guys have been here, but if you notice sometimes in your water it's kind of chalky. That's because of the chalk that's underneath. Perfect. So we're here, 8 meters underground. So these tunnels have been enlarged to accommodate our visitors. They used to only be a height of about 2 meters by a width of 1 or 1.5 meters, so quite a bit smaller than they are today. We've also added these cement reinforcements and the metal grates on the ceiling just to protect everybody who's coming in and out of these tunnels. And finally, we added is the lighting system. So I mentioned this is chalk down here. So when chalk is freshly mined and freshly scraped, it's very, very bright white, like teachers used to write on the chalkboard. So it does help reflect the lights off the walls a little bit, but again, a light only every 20 meters or so is not a lot. So if you look down this hallway here, that's actually what the lighting system used to look like at the time. Wow. So quite a bit darker than it is today. It stays about a constant 11 degrees Celsius down here. So it's very cold and damp and dingy and just not comfortable for them to be down here. However, it was necessary for their success in the end to have these subway systems down here. As you're walking along the tunnels, you'll also notice that there's lots of engravings and things in the chalk. So chalk itself is a very soft rock. You can engrave it just with your thumb.
Alright guys, so we're going down right now. I might say some graffiti because since Canadians did this back in 1960s when this was like like ago, and Canadians are known to be big graffiti artists. So yeah. My gosh, they got lost.
I guess you see a bit of light and then you go. Oh yeah, that's just where the light starts.
So we've been like almost 1 minute filming this part of the video, and then now it's like and I'm just getting tired. I'm just getting this rock is taking forever. It's like I gotta get down.
What's that hole?
So the hole there actually is added, and the reason why is just to, you can see here some of the floor here is wet. So this area in particular, the Artois Valley in France, chalk is very native to it in terms of the ground itself. So that being said, when it pours, it does get really porous and then just drips. So it does cause flooding. So that's just to prevent flooding in terms of this location itself.
Oh, look at the ticks.
Yeah.
Oh.
A few things to also keep in mind is that today we have the privilege of walking along a concrete, which you may have come across, of course, walking
Yeah.
through here. At the time period, however, it would have just been chalk, dirt, whatever they had. And you may notice that there's one board there. The reason being, part of this is actually, this tunnel in particular is actually known as a Grange subway. The reason being, it would be railroad systems, so similar to those. It's very primitive, however, they would use that to transport supplies, casualties, so bodies injured or killed, and so forth. At its height, it could this could fit about 1,000 soldiers, believe it or not. And during just before the actual battle itself, on Easter in 1917, the last regiment to frequent this tunnel itself was the Black Watch Regiment. So a regiment, the 42nd from Montreal, Quebec.
Where did they out of that?
They definitely had specific sectioned off areas for that. I can't remember where it was, but it was.
They had a
Yeah,
special
they did
place.
have designated areas.
Okay.
Yeah.
The latrines.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
trees, yeah,
Yeah.
the trees, most definitely.
Wow.
Important also to keep in mind, nobody would be living here for long periods or long durations. The most we're thinking of here is about 2-3 nights, at most.
So they'd sleep down here?
Yeah,
With
yeah,
their
just
beds?
just before actually, yeah. We can access it today, but there actually is a station for an officer's room which shows a bed and everything, in which he would have been staying.
Wow.
Yeah, so it wasn't meant for anything for long-term purposes, as opposed to locations such as the Wellington Quarry, which you guys may have heard of.
Yeah.
Yeah, have you guys heard of it?
Haven't
Yeah, so it's a quarry in Arras, so just in the city, and it's where 24,000 soldiers actually lived for quite a while. And in terms of this tunnel itself, believe it or not, it was actually built by the Welsh. Any ideas as to why the Welsh would have been the ones constructing this?
Miners.
Exactly,
Yeah.
she mentioned it, right? Yeah, it was the
No,
Welsh who built
but-
this, yeah.
Mhm.
So, do you guys have any questions, anything about anything you've seen so far, or anything about the site, really?
I'm just surprised that that's how the rock is in the ground.
Yeah.
Yup. Shit.
They sure
Now I
can do this
understand.
in British Columbia where we live because we have earthquakes.
So now I can see why there's so many fences that are made of stone.
Dig them up everywhere you go. Yeah.
Exactly. Now, did she mention to you the sandbags and what they had to do, or the chalk bags and what they had to do? So the Welsh, so on an average, the miners were digging about 6 to 12 meters, believe it or not, per day, and that's by hand, so just pick an axe. And in terms of all the bags that they had of the chalk, they had to cover it with dirt and mud. The reason being, in order to access chalk, you have to reach a certain level of depth. And through aerial surveillance, if the German forces were to see that, they know that they were building something more elaborate than a trench. So they would use a lot of dirt and a lot of mud just to cover it, to not give that off to the enemies.
Oh.
Yeah, you'll see a better representation of that really in the trenches itself, as this will take you up towards them. So we have concrete bags in lieu of that, but it's to show that what the chalk would have been used for. I mean, right, just would have been for support with the trenches itself, used as firing steps, and used to capture bullets, really.
Oh, wow, okay.
So what's up there?
So up here, actually, it leads you to a deep fighting, it leads you to the side, you'll notice that there's a deep fighting tunnel. What the deep fighting tunnel really is, when you get to the trenches, you'll see that there's a huge crater in itself. And deep fighting tunnel is a tunnel which is about 30 to 40 feet under the enemy lines, and it serves to, and what they would do, forces, so both the German forces as well as the British forces, all the armies at the time, they would put a specific explosive called aminol in it, and then they would section it off with walls, and then they would use it to blow up a defensive position.
I've read that they had the British had a huge crater building expedition in 1916.
16 in the Somme, yeah.
Yeah, and they just blew up, made about 20 different
Yeah, they
craters.
did, yeah. So I actually work in that department. So in terms of Veteran Affairs Canada, we operate 2 sites in France. We operate Vimy Ridge, as well as Beaumont Hamel, Newfoundland, which you may have heard of. That department itself, the Somme being a subdivision of the Upper France, or the Defense Department, there's just craters everywhere. In the case of Beaumont Hamel, so July 1st, the Battle of the Somme in itself, the British blew up about 40,000 pounds of ammo.
And they could hear the bomb in London, apparently.
Yeah, it was quite the.
The bombs.
Yeah, because there were several that were going
They
off.
did
That's
it
just
all
one
at
of
the
them that
same
went off,
time.
right?
So you dig under and you dig a big hole.
You
and
would
then
dig
you-
that significantly
Then you
under.
blow and they
Exactly, yeah, because
Hold
right
down.
now,
Implode,
You
yeah.
get under
Implode
a
in.
gun position or something like that.
exactly, yeah, to put into perspective, we're only 8 meters below ground. We're talking 30 to 40 meters, 30 to 40 feet, pardon me, below ground. So if this is the trench, it would go like this, just under it. So it'll make a lot more sense the minute you see that crater in itself, because what that crater served, the one which the front line is surrounding, because it's only 25 meters between both of them, it created a contour, so more of an advantageous point in which both forces tried to grab, just to make more of to have more leverage on the battlefield in itself. Yeah, but I'm not going to take away from that. Whoever's at the front there will mention that.
Okay.
Wow, that's interesting.
Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Hello.
Wow, look at that.
All right, guys, we're wrapping here.
We thought we would just, one more trip.
No, no, for sure.
Would you like to tell us about it?
Yeah, you've already put well on this, I'm not sure about
What did this curl through?
So this was made by one of the bombs?
Yeah. I wonder how far down, how big a hole you would make down so everything would drop in. You know what I mean? When you got under, when you got clean out 450 feet straight down, though, it would all